Happy Monday morning, May 10th, 2021. To God be the glory for yet another beautiful opportunity to see His riches, His glories, His fruit. And we know that it's love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, forgiveness, self-control, all of it, all those attributes. He invites us to partake in those delicious pieces of produce. And that's from spending much time in His presence. And we could wake up and know that He is right with us. We have the blessed assurance that the Lord is ours. We are in the 11th chapter of 1 Kings, and it talks about how, we're talking about what's in our heart. Well, we know that Solomon clave to things that were not of God's intention and His desire for his life. You know, Solomon married 700 wives, women, and he had 300 concubines. And some of these women were from different traditions, and they influenced him. It says that he loved strange women of Moabites and Ammonites and Edomites, and they turned his heart toward some craziness, some gods, small g, idols. And he clave to them. He took to them in love. He put them in his heart. It says in Exodus 34:16, and thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a-whoring after their gods. That's why we got to pray for our children and who they connect with, to make sure that the people are of the tradition and who have been introduced to the Lord and His ways. You pray for your child's future spouse and who they're hanging around with and spending their time, because they influence one another. And we want them to be in the way of God so that they can do the original intention that He created them to do. It says that in verse 4, for it came to pass when Solomon was old, an old man, his wives turned away his heart. Now he was in the way. He was the wisest guy. Remember how he was able to have such discretion and great judgment? Remember the two women where they were arguing over a baby, talking about Mother's Day. And then one of the women were like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's cut the baby in half. And then Solomon knew that she was not the mother because she didn't have the heart of a mother. Woo. So when you have the heart of a mother, you'd be like, you know what? I'll sacrifice. You know what? As long as he's safe, as long as my child's safe from foolishness and craziness and death. That's a true mother. That's a true father. So Solomon had that insight to know who was the one who had the best interest for that child. Well, do the people that your child or niece or nephew or neighbors or your students who they're hanging with, do they have their best interest in heart? Because it says that Solomon turned away and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was his father's heart. And then it says in verse 6, and Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and he went not fully after the Lord's. Oh, we do not want that to be said of us. We do not want that to be said of our children. We don't want that to be said of anyone who is in our circle, because we want them to be able to realize God's plans. Yeah. And then it says later on in verse 40, Solomon sought therefore to kill Jeroboam because the Lord raised up another leader. And Solomon was like, So he was about to kill him. It says in verse 31, and he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee. So Solomon was feeling insecure and all that, so he wanted to kill Jeroboam. And it says that Solomon died. And he reigned over in Jerusalem for 40 years, and he ended. Wow. Isn't that something? We don't want that to be said of us. We want to be able to end well, finish strong. So in Psalms 40, we have to make sure that we have our goings today established. Make sure that we stay in the Lord's path, because he said that he will set our feet upon a rock and point us in the way to go, so that we don't have to go to these crazy idols out here and be in the wrong path. And we can declare continually, verse 5, many, O Lord, my God, are thy wonderful works. That's why we go to work, because the Lord has done great works for us, which thou hast done. Yes, they are more than can be numbered. So our song today, because the Lord will give us a new song in our heart, yes, in our mouth, is verse 8. The song that we'll continually to have throughout the day and this week. I delight to do thy will. Whatever it is, whether you're going to the factory, you're a cop, you're in a classroom, I delight to do thy will, oh my God, yes. And you will keep me in your path. Enjoy the presence of the Lord. Make sure that you stay away from things that will draw your heart from God, and enjoy his presence forevermore. Happy Monday.